Today's lesson is Seeing Through the Spoofers. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike.
I am Roger, and today we're going to talk about something called spoofers or scammers. They're very similar. Basically, these are people who are trying to get money from you by using deceptive means on the internet or through phone calls or whatever. Yet you got to be watching out for these spoofers or these scammers.
Exactly right. It's very common these days. I think there are a lot of news stories about this. Of course, people can just cheat you on the street by taking money out of your pocket or getting you involved in a bad business deal. But now with technology and more people shopping and doing some of their banking online, this is something that's also infected our digital world. These spoofers can reach out and get you at home, either through calling you up on the phone and tricking you into handing over your personal banking details, or by setting up websites that look very genuine, that look very legitimate, but actually they're also just run by scam artists or spoofers, people who are trying to trick you out of your money, who are trying to get you to willingly give them your bank information and give them access to your finances. So it's a form of theft. Of course, it's not as violent as pulling a gun on someone in an alleyway and saying, "Give me your wallet." But it can actually be more devastating because, of course, once these spoofers get your personal information, whether it's your bank details, they can clean out your bank account, they can run up crazy debts on your credit card, or even worse, I think in some ways, they can basically steal your identity. So then you can find that people have credit cards or licenses or even passports taken out in your name. And in some of the worst cases that I've read about, this can sort of ruin people's lives for years as they try to sort out all the mess. So let's see through the spoofers. Let's put these criminals out of business. Seeing through the spoofers. When we're out and about, we rarely have to worry that people aren't who they claim to be. Although it can happen, it's pretty rare to encounter someone in disguise trying to fool you. Not so in the digital world, though. Spoofing, which is when a criminal fakes their identity to trick you into thinking they're a person or business you can trust, is a troublingly common phenomenon.
大家好，第一部分介绍名词 criminal， 它的意思是罪犯。例如 Our home security system is designed to stop criminals from breaking in. 我们家的保全系统旨在阻止罪犯闯入。或者 The police caught the criminals when they tried to sell the stolen paintings. 警方在歹徒试图卖出偷来的画作时逮到他们。再来看到副词 troublingly， 表示令人忧虑的。例如The crime rate in the city has been rising troublingly fast. 该城市的犯罪率以令人忧虑的速度上升。或是 The company's financial situation has been troublingly unstable. 该公司的财务状况一直令人忧虑的不稳定。
Okay, let's talk about the first part of our lesson here. It says, when we're out and about, we rarely have to worry that people aren't who they claim to be. That does seem to be the case. If we go into a convenience store, it's pretty straightforward. You buy something, they take your money, they give you change, etc., etc. So, yeah, we really don't worry that much about people out there, and we pretty much know who they are, except for strangers, of course, but we pretty much ignore them. And here we've got the phrase to be out and about, which means you're out of the house and you're conducting your daily affairs. You're going to work, you're going to do errands, you're going to school or whatever. Yeah, you're out and about, you're moving around the city doing various things.
So when you're doing that, when you're going about your normal life, going to work, doing your chores, going to the store, that kind of thing. So in normal life, as we move around, we rarely have to worry that people aren't who they claim to be. So this is rarely a problem that someone in real life comes up to you and tries to trick you out of your money like this, or tries to pretend to be a certain person who they aren't. It says, although it can happen, it's pretty rare to encounter someone in disguise trying to fool you. Yeah, the old days of the traveling medicine man who sells you bad products or something, that doesn't really happen anymore. A lot of people these days would be quite sophisticated and be able to see through a simple trick like that, especially if the person was wearing a disguise, trying to pretend to be someone who they are not, because that is why you would have a disguise on. This is basically something that you would wear, generally something you would put possibly on your face. It could be something simple like a mask, or it could be something more like we would see in a spy movie where they put on a fake beard and mustache, change their hair color, wear glasses when they don't normally, alter their appearance in a way that you can't identify them as a certain person, or they will hide their identity if you know it so that you think that they're someone else. They do use this in Sherlock Holmes mysteries and things like that, but you don't hear about it very often. I guess the only time a person would do this, maybe if they're robbing a bank, they would wear a mask or they would alter their appearance in a certain way. Put on this disguise. And of course, we would use it in our normal lives if you're going to a costume party or a Halloween party, that kind of thing. That would be a costume. It could also be a disguise if you're just trying to hide your identity. But this doesn't happen in the real world when we're out and about, but it's very different online.
Yeah, it says, not so in the digital world, though. This is not the case in the digital world. Digital just has to do with zeros and ones. It has to do with computers. It's also a way to contrast digital and analog, like we all use digital cameras now, whereas maybe 30 years ago everybody used analog cameras or film cameras, or you might have a digital watch or an analog watch or whatever. But this is the digital world, the world of the internet and computers and smartphones and things like that. And yes, indeed, this is very difficult to do, or it's very difficult to tell who's real on the internet, especially when they're sending you emails and things like that that look legitimate. Well, spoofing, which is when a criminal fakes their identity to trick you into thinking they're a person or business you can trust, is a troublingly common phenomenon. Can you say that word, Mike? Troublingly?
Troublingly.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to pronounce. I don't think it's commonly used here, but basically it means it's a situation that is troubling, and we're turning this into an adverb here. It's a phenomenon that is troublingly common. Okay, it happens a lot, and it's unfortunate that this is the case.
Exactly right. And this, of course, is something that criminals will do. A criminal is someone who does crime, a bad guy, a lawbreaker, a robber, something like that could be a criminal. Basically, anyone who breaks a crime. Probably a fairly serious crime. I mean, if you got a speeding ticket, I wouldn't say, "Ooh, you're a criminal." No, probably not, even though you did break a law. But if you break a fairly serious crime, if you've gone to court and been found guilty or something like that, you could be a criminal. So this is when these criminals do this. They're faking their identity. They're pretending to be someone, say someone who works for your bank or something like that, and they're trying to trick you into thinking they're a person or business you can trust. That, of course, is the disguise part, right? They're kind of hiding their identity and tricking you into giving your financial information. And this is, troublingly common. It's kind of upsetting when you think of how common this is and how much more common it's becoming, how much more common it has become in the last 10 or 20 years. And it's a phenomenon. A phenomenon is basically something that happens. It could be something that happens more now than it used to. It could be something that doesn't happen very commonly. It could be a rare phenomenon. If we talk about a natural phenomenon, well, earthquakes are terrifying natural phenomena. But this is a phenomenon of society and of crime, where conning people, spoofing, and tricking people out of money using the internet is much more common now than it was 5, 10, 20 years ago.
So yeah, you got to watch out here. And let's talk more specifically about spoofing now as we continue on now into the second part of our lesson.
A spoofing scam can take many forms, such as an email, text message, or phone call. For example, you might get an email that appears to be from an online shopping platform. It might say that someone has broken into your account and you need to change your password by clicking on a link. But when you click on the link and enter your account information, you're actually giving the spoofer your login information and the means to take control of your account.
第二部分看到名词 scam， 它的意思是欺诈或是诈骗手段。例如 The email was part of a phishing scam to steal personal information. 那封电子邮件是一种钓鱼诈骗，旨在窃取个人讯息。也可以说 The scam involved fake investment opportunities. 该诈骗涉及虚假的投资机会。再来介绍名词 login， 表示登入或是进入系统。我们可以说 The website requires a login to access the advanced content. 该网站需要登入才能访问进阶内容。又或者说 Multiple failed login attempts may lock your account. 多次登入失败可能会锁定你的账户。
All right, let's get back to it. It says, a spoofing scam can take many forms, such as an email, text message, or phone call. Yeah, absolutely. They can reach out, these scammers, these spoofers, they can reach out in many ways to get in contact with you. And a scam, as Roger explained, is basically a trick to try to fool you into willingly give up your money. It's like robbing you, but getting your help in robbing yourself by tricking you and confusing you or misrepresenting, lying to you and giving you false information. But the idea here is that you're willingly giving up this money or this information. For example, it says you might get an email that appears to be from an online shopping platform, just like the one I got from Amazon. It might say that someone has broken into your account and you need to change your password by clicking on a link, just like the one I got from that fake Amazon thing. But when you click on the link and enter your account information, you're actually giving the spoofer your login information and the means to take control of your account. And that is exactly what happened to me. So I clicked on the link, I put in my password for my Amazon account, that is my login information. And I guess if I hadn't changed it so quickly, they could have taken control of my account. Here we have this term login. This is something most people will be familiar with every time you use an internet service, especially one that you're going to sign up to or have already signed up to. You'll probably have 2 bits of information they need to give you access to let you do things on that app or on that website. You'll need your username, which could just be your name with your birth date or something like that. And then this login, the other thing they'll have is a password, and that would be the secret little code that you've made up for yourself. Some people would just write ABC123 or something like that. But both of these things will help you to log in or to sign on to this website so that you can use it. And then when we turn log in, the verb, I'm logging in now, I'm typing my information now. When we turn that into the noun, then it just becomes login. Your login information, the information you need to get access. And so this, if you give it up, will give the spoofers, these criminals, the means or the way, the ability to take control of your account, to run your account, and most importantly, to spend money, your money, on your account. In other words, to steal your money.
Yep, to take control of something means that you are now able to run that thing. Nobody else can operate it. You are operating it. So here you want to take control of your account, or they're going to take control of your account if you're dumb enough to give them information about your account or whatever. Don't ever do that, no matter who is calling you, because they normally don't do it that way through legitimate means. So yeah, don't be fooled or tricked. And I've heard lots of examples of people being tricked like that. Oh, you've got this check that we need to deposit in your account, and we can't give it to you unless you give us your account number. It's for a lot of money. It's like an insurance benefit or something because your Uncle Harry died last year or something like that. And, oh, I guess I better give you the number then. And, of course, people get tricked, and they lose all their money as a result. Okay, that brings us to the end of the second part of our lesson for today. Let's wrap things up now with the third and final part.
Or you might get a direct message, DM, on social media, apparently from a friend, telling you to click on a link to watch a funny video. But when you do, you unintentionally download software that allows the spoofer to spy on your activity.
第3部分看到副词 apparently， 它的意思是似乎、看来、显然或是据说。例如Felix didn't answer his phone when I called, apparently because he was in a meeting. 我打电话给 Felix 时，他没有接电话，看来是因为他正在开会。又或者说 The fire apparently started because the stove had been left on. 火势显然是因为炉火打开后未关而开始的。接着介绍副词 unintentionally， 指的是无心的或是非故意的。举例来说Charles unintentionally cut his finger when he was chopping vegetables. Charles 在切菜时无意割伤了手指。又或者说 The boys unintentionally started a forest fire when their campfire got out of control. 当男孩们的萤火失控时，他们无意中引发了森林火灾。再来看到名词 software， 表示软体。例如 Tom removed the software from his computer. Tom 把这套软体从电脑里移除。也可以说 The company has just purchased new software for our human resources department. 公司刚为人资部门采购了新的软体。最后看到动词 spy， 表示暗中监视或是搜集情报。我们可以说 Alex spied on her brother to see what he was doing. Alex 监视他弟弟，看他在做什么。也可以说 Maggie caught her little brother spying on her while she was talking with her friends. Maggie 逮到他弟弟在暗中窥探他和他朋友讲话。
All right, we are back looking at the ways that scammers and spoofers, especially those ones operating on the internet, can con trusting and honest people into giving up information, private security information, and allowing these scammers and spoofers to take control of our accounts and even to steal our own money. So one way is you get this email from a realistic or seemingly real-looking company that when you click on it, you realize that scammers have now stolen your login private security information, and they're doing bad things. Or here's the other option, or the other way, other common way that some of these spoofers can get in touch with us and trick us. Or you might get a direct message, DM, on social media, apparently from a friend, telling you to click on a link to watch a funny video. So maybe your friend's account has been taken control of by some of these scammers, and then they use the messaging options, direct messaging, to reach out to you to try to con you. Because, of course, you trust your friend, right? You would trust anything that they would send to you, so you'll quite happily click on things and follow instructions that your friends give you. This will be done through direct message, DM. When we do that, we're basically using the sort of private message function on some of these apps. If I have something to tell the whole world on Facebook, I can just write it on my wall. Like, I'm happy to be celebrating my birthday. Thanks for all the nice messages. But if I want to write to someone personally in a private way, then I would use the DM function. So you might see that when people are selling things on the internet. They might say, if you're interested in buying, send me a DM. We won't negotiate the price in public with everyone being able to read it. We'll do this privately. So that's the private messaging part of some of these social media apps. And of course, other things like WhatsApp and Line. These are sort of direct message services as well. So you get this message on social media, apparently from a friend. If something happens apparently, that's how it seems to happen. That's what it looks like at first. That's what it looks like on the surface. That is our first reaction. But if we think, if we find out, if we wait, if we get more information, we might find that the reality is different from what it appears, right? So appearances is something that we're sort of relating this to, how something looks, how something seems, but it could change over time once we get the full picture.
Right, and I have received messages like this before, but I found them very suspicious because I thought, hey, my friend John Doe never sent me a message like this before, and also the way he phrased it to watch this video doesn't sound like the way he would actually talk, so I was very suspicious.
Yeah, it seems so out of the ordinary usually when it happens, right?
So yeah, just to take a couple of seconds and make sure the messages you're receiving are legitimate because they may be trying to scam you or trying to spoof you. And yeah, you might be told to click on a link or something like that, and then you are doomed. But when you do click on that link to watch a funny video, you unintentionally download software that allows the spoofer to spy on your activities. So if something's unintentional, you did not mean to do it, but you did it anyway, it usually implies that it is a bad situation. I unintentionally tipped over your new vase. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, even though it cost you 20,000 NT dollars, and hopefully you won't require me to pay you back for it.
Similar to accidentally, of course, right? When you do something unintentionally, you didn't plan to do it. So in this way, you unintentionally or accidentally download software. You're downloading a computer program program. And that's basically what software is, the information that the computer uses in order to perform functions. We often call these apps these days, especially when we have them on our phone. But I've noticed a lot of companies like, I think Microsoft now refers to programs on your computer as apps as well. That's basically what they are. The software is the code written by the experts to make this app, this software, this program work. So you download this program, this app, this software, and it allows the spoofer to spy on your activity. Here we're talking about viruses, bugs, Trojan horses, things like that. Ways that computer programmers, criminal computer programmers, ways that they can get into your computer, infect the hard drive, and allow them to take control of it and do all sorts of nasty things that you don't want them doing. So the software will get in there, giving these criminals a backdoor into your computer, and that will allow the spoofer, the criminal, to spy on your activity. They can see what programs you open. They can see what numbers, like credit card numbers, you might enter into things. They can often actually see even what keys you press on your keyboard, which also allows them to know what your passwords are. So do not do this if you can avoid it at all, and be especially careful about not trusting people you don't know on the internet.
And I think they can also watch you through the camera on your computer too, so you got to be aware of that. But again, yes, we want you all to protect yourselves, and we don't want you to get spoofed or scammed, and we'll continue talking about this topic in our next program. Here comes Hanny.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第一部分提到，诱骗是罪犯伪造自己的身份来欺骗你，让你认为他们是你可以信任的人或是企业。那文中用到 trick you into thinking 什么什么，去表达说欺骗你，让你认为怎么样怎么样。 trick 在这边是当动词，表达哄骗、欺骗。那么 trick somebody into 加上动词 ing 就可以表达哄骗某人去做某事。那它的被动语态会是 somebody be tricked into 再加动词 ing。 好，举例来说， The man was tricked into selling his land at a low price. 那名男子他被哄骗低价卖掉土地。好，那有一个语义相近的用法是 con somebody into 加上动词 ing， 这也可以表达骗某人去做某事。那被动语态会是 somebody be conned into 动词 ing， 其中这个动词 con 它有诈欺的意思，那么动词三态会是 conned。 举例来说， Several people were conned into investing in his business. 好几个人被骗去投资他的生意。好，那么课文第二部分有提到诱骗诈骗的例子，例如你可能会收到一封看似来自线上购物平台的电子邮件，他可能会说有人盗用了你的账号，那你需要点击连结来更改密码。文中是用 break into one's account 去表达盗用某人的账号。那这边我们来整理一下 break into 的不同用法。第一个用来讲犯罪的时候呢， break into 通常是指闯入、侵入来进行偷窃，它是及物用法，那么后面要记得接受词。例如 Someone tried to break into their house while they were away. 有人趁他们外出的时候试图闯入他们家。那其实还可以用到 break in 去表达非法入侵的意思，只是 break in 它是不及物用法，所以刚刚的例句我们就要改成 Someone tried to break in while they were away。 好，再看到第二个，我们可以用 break into 去表达突然开始怎么样，突然什么什么起来，后面通常会接名词，像 break into tears 突然哭了起来， break into laughter 突然笑了起来，或者是 break into applause 突然开始鼓掌等等。举例来说， Her face broke into a smile 她脸上突然露出了微笑。那其实还可以用到 burst into 去表达相同的语义，像 burst into tears burst into laughter 等等。再看到第三个用法是 break into 可以表达开始加入或从事某个活动，这有点类似中文说的成功打进啊，顺利进入、成功闯进的那种意思，尤其是指很难取得成功的领域或行业。例如 Her dream was to break into show business 她的梦想是要闯进演艺圈。好，那么以上今天重点整理，我们回顾今天单字吧。
Disguise. Kayla's disguise was so good that even her friends didn't know it was her. Digital. Wade prefers reading digital books on his tablet over reading traditional books. Criminal. The police caught the criminal after a long chase. Phenomenon. The Northern Lights are a strange and beautiful natural phenomenon. Apparently. Apparently, he forgot to send the email as promised. Software. This software allows you to edit photos easily. Spy. Hazel spied on the meeting through a small crack in the door. Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Mike.
I am Roger.
See you next time.